I wouldn't say soon. I think it's always an ongoing process. You're always trying to avail yourself of ways to improve the roster, improve the chemistry. We continue to do that. We still have some roster flexibility. We still have resources to utilize. But like with everything else, it will come as a form of deliberate action against the plan that we've laid out.
Any positions that you still think you need to fill?
Look, I think that we strive for a competition in every line, goalkeeper, backs, midfield, and forwards. I think our attacking quartet is pretty deep, and so that's an area that I think we can relax. We probably would look to add to the back line and to the midfield still if we could. I think in goal we feel pretty good with the three keepers we have as well.
Safe to say center midfield isn't a target now that you've got Dax and Juninho on board?
No, I wouldn't say that. I think that, again, we can always look to improve. I view, and I think Pano views, the midfield as the engine to any team. 34-game season is long. This is a league that tests physical and mental strength over a long period of time. And I think if we can find a good midfielder to add to the mix, we would do so.
You had a conversation with Dax last week. How did that conversation go? I know he had a lot of things going on before the trade. What is his state of mind at the moment?
Well, he was very generous with his time. We just wanted to introduce ourselves. We wanted to let him know that we fully support his efforts to make the U.S. men's national team. We support all of our players in their attempts to make their respective national teams. And we obviously knew that this had to have come as a surprise to him. The captain of another team, he had just gotten married. There's never a good time to have unexpected change hit you. We just wanted to impress upon him our values, our keen desire to add him, that he was, our top target for a long period of time, and to also let him know that we respected his need to breathe and to have time to go through his emotions, to spend time with his wife, and again, to reiterate, to try to make the U.S. men's national team. I think everything will come in its due course, and when his time with the national team camp ends, we'll again give him a little time that he might need to recover from that camp and to attend to some personal matters, and then we'll embrace him when he comes.
How sensitive do you have to be when it's an unexpected change like that? And obviously he's processing a move that he wasn't expecting or didn't see coming, and how do you kind of coach that?
I think for us it's normal in the sense that we always try to put the player first, and for me everything begins with people, and for those of us that are married, we know that happy wife equals happy life. And so, we have work to do with Dax and his wife and his family, and having them feel comfortable about Chicago. They were looking to put down roots in New York, but whether it's unexpected like that or it's someone like Nemanja Nikolic who chose us and chose to come here, we still have to work with him and his family in acclimating them. So our approach and our attitude is the same, although the circumstances are different. So we have to be empathetic to the sensitivity that Dax and his wife are going through.
You said in the release last week that he had been a priority for you, and what did as you looked at him, what role did you see, just adding to the depth in the midfield, or was it more of like that boss that you were looking for?
In a different way, he is that boss. His reputation is very constant throughout the league, and in part of our research that we did on Dax, which literally was about 6 months in the making, we spoke to referees, we spoke to opposing coaches, we spoke to players on our team, to opposing players, and everybody kept coming back with the same comments. A winner, a leader, someone who cares more about the team than his own personal glory. And so those intangibles, as they're commonly referred, were scoring off the charts and very much in line with what we felt we needed to add to our locker room. When you combine that with his on-field success, his on-field play, the characteristics of his play, very high soccer IQ, very good recovery of the ball. He cuts out a lot of balls. He's a great shield in front of the back line. Very dependable with the ball. High passing percentages. We were a poor passing team last year. So he really, on the field and off, he was our number one choice because he ticked just about every box we put before him.
What do you think of the transparency in the league with the allocation numbers, especially with the trade you guys had, 2 trades you had with that?
I think in general, it makes the job that I hold harder for all of us, but I think that's a good thing. I think fans and media should have another tool to hold us accountable. I think it's another way for people to publicly judge our performance, to judge how trades are. And I also think it helps dispel this myth that allocation money is either fictitious or goes into the owner's pocket. It is an important resource within Major League Soccer. I favor that transparency. Like I said, it'll make days harder for me where people say, you're an idiot, you paid too much for Dax, or you got too little for that guy. But on balance, I think it's a really good thing and an important evolutionary step for the league.
How do you think it'll affect what you guys do as a GM?
I don't think it will. With all due respect, I'm not driven by public sentiment or by media criticisms. Maybe one day we'll get media plaudits too. But we do what we think is best in the best way that we think it should be done. So it doesn't impact how we do business.
One hole that looks to be there in the starting 11 is right back. Do you guys have any trialists in for preseason? Do you expect to bring more bodies in at that position to have a look?
We do have a couple of trialists that will be with us. We still have Johan Kapelov, who has experience at right back. We have Michael Harrington, who has experience at right back. So we feel the position is covered. We'd like to add some depth to that position. And I'll take this opportunity to say every position is open for competition. No one should expect that anyone's job is granted or given by virtue of contract or seniority.
Are you a little surprised at the rock star treatment Nico got the other night at the airport? Expected.
It was unexpected in that I don't know how, but fans are resourceful, how they got his flight information, that they were willing to wait into the evening. Again, I think he's a player that our fans are going to love. If anyone followed his career at Legia, he became idolized by the fans there for good reason. I think he gives all for his team and he produces, and our expectations are the same. I was happy for him because we had spoken to him about the warm character of the people of the Midwest and of the city of Chicago. So that was nice that he got to experience it firsthand on his arrival.
We had a couple of longtime fire people, so to speak, Gonzalo and Logan leave over the last 6 months. Sean Johnson, who's the longest tenured player, was traded. How do you keep a connection to that sort of history without damaging the past and moving forward?
I don't see it as damage to the past, so I'll take each of those on their own. Gonzalo left for an opportunity that he thought was better for him. He left at a time that we offered him a raise to stay and remain in our academies. That was a choice that he made. Logan's recent decision is a furtherance of his career. He very much desires to be a head coach. This is a head coaching opportunity. I believe in this Indian phrase of mudita, which is finding joy in the happiness of others. Logan is happy. He has, after just 1 year of coaching, he's been given the opportunity to be a head coach in a great organization. And I think if anyone speaks to Logan, and I would encourage them to do so, he would recognize that we helped contribute to this opportunity for him, and he's very happy. It's, I'll speak personally, for me it's hard to have Logan leave because I think I grew close to him in a short period of time. I think he's going to be a hell of a coach. I think he's going to be a great head coach. And so I think you'll follow his career that way. And with Sean, I think we all felt that a change was best. I don't think that makes us any less connected to tradition or the past. I think it's a natural evolution. I think we need to find ways to have more of our past players part of our present. I think in year 2, I can look to help in that regard, because I do think those connections are important, and I think we need to find ways as a club to open more doors for players that have spent significant time with us. But in these cases, I think they were all good new opportunities for those who chose to go elsewhere.
You look at Matt Polster and his role with the team in 2017. Does his versatility really serve him well, especially with the new acquisitions?
Look, I think in general, the adaptable nature of how Pano views the game favors anyone who can adjust and either play multiple positions or interpret roles in different ways. I think Matt, we have to remember, is still a young player. It's only 2 years as a pro, but he continues to have a very bright future, and I would say he still has a very bright present. When and where he plays will be entirely up to how his performance is adjudged.
Do you see this as a group that can mesh well on the field?
You know, you'd like to think so. It's an inexact science, or at least for me it is. I know others will be more brash in saying it's all there, all the pieces are together, but until they're on the field, until they're in the hotel rooms, until they're off the field at team meals, you never really know. I think each team takes time to evolve its own identity and character. This group is very different than last year's group. We feel really good that what we brought into the locker room are guys who bring with them trophies and medals. You know, Bava's won trophies and medals, Dax has won medals, Juninho has won medals, Nikolic has won medals, and I think that's very important when you're could talk about all these clever ways to change culture, but the best way to have a winning team is to have winners as part of your team. And with those 4 guys at least, we've added certified winners.
Obviously, guys have to make the team yet, but what is the plan going forward to get some of the younger guys, Colin, minutes, and maybe Janet Johnson, who makes the team, to get minutes for those guys as they progress?
The plan is the same for all players. Minutes aren't given, minutes are earned. Young players are not given any preferential treatment to anyone else. I think it's important to remember that last year at Vancouver in a 1-1 game with about 15 minutes left to go, Pano put Colin Fernandez into the game. Anyone who knows Colin Fernandez knows he didn't put him into the game to preserve 1-1, put him into the game to try to win. So Pano's not afraid to play young players. We had the 2nd or 3rd youngest team in the league last year. Homegrown players are a little bit different, and I recognize that. I think we have to keep in mind a plan for all of our players, but homegrown players that we sign at a younger age, I think minutes do become important. Those may or may not come with the first team. They may come in friendlies, they may come in intra-squad scrimmages, they may come in closed-door scrimmages that we arrange with other teams. So we have to do those things. But for right now, everybody has a chance to earn first team minutes.
Looking at the pieces you have in place, how much more confident are you heading into this season than you were last season?
Well, look, I was confident last year, and the results of last year were bitterly disappointing and unexpected by me. I have to believe our roster is better. Whether that roster comes together in the way we imagine, time will tell. But I think our internal leadership is better. I think we have more competition in more roles and positions on the field than we had last year. Competition tends to bring out better performance. So I think there's great reason for optimism. But it's all idle words until we get on the field and win or lose.
Anything else, guys?